Hi, I am Swarupa Sail, course instructor for fluid mechanics. In this presentation, we will go through what do we mean by viscosity, types of viscosity, and how does it vary with variation in temperature. Before going to the definition of viscosity, we will consider some examples wherein a liquid at rest is considered. We know that liquid will have number of layers. Here, for example, two layers have been considered, that is layer 1 and 2, which are close to each other or one above the other. Since the liquid is at rest, there is no frictional force which is acting between these two layers. That means shear stress is 0 as shear force is also equal to 0. But when we try to pour this liquid in another container, there will be shear force which would act on the top of layers of the liquid. So that is what is called shear force, which acts parallel to the surface. This shear force, that is F, divided by area, that is surface area on which it is acting, is called as shear stress. Hence, shear stress tau is equal to shear force divided by area. Hence, we say that when liquid flows due to movement of one layer over the another layer, friction develops which results into viscosity. Before again defining viscosity, we will take into consideration two liquids. One liquid which is being poured from the glass one is water, that is colored water, and the other is honey. When we pour water, we can see that it is being filled up fast compared to that of honey. That is because water has low viscosity as particles are weakly attracted to each other. Frictional force, that is shear force between the molecules, is also less. Whereas for honey, we say that it has high viscosity as particles are strongly attracted and frictional force between the molecules is more. Hence we say that honey is more viscous compared to water. So, viscosity can be defined as the internal resistance offered by one layer of fluid on another layer due to friction when subjected to frictional force. That is nothing but shear force F. Highly viscous liquids require more shear force to move than compared to less viscous liquid, that is water. Hence, we already have found out that honey is more viscous than water as it took more time in filling up the glass compared to that of water. Viscosity helps to describe how easily it flows or how thick a liquid is. Before defining Newton's law of viscosity, we will consider here an example wherein a liquid is flowing over a solid boundary or maybe a fixed plate. On top of liquid, a moving plate is kept of area A. Since plate is moving, a shear force acts which is acting parallel to the area. Now, due to the application of this shear force, top layer, that is layer 1, will move with higher velocity compared to lower layers. Here we will consider variation of velocity with respect to depth y. we see that layer 1 has got greater magnitude from this diagram and bottom layer has got less magnitude. So we will imagine that layer 2 is having velocity u. Layer 1 has got more velocity compared to layer 2 by magnitude du. Hence, velocity of layer 1 is u plus du. Since liquid is flowing, there will be frictional force which develops. Hence, there will be even exertion of shear stress. Shear stress tau is equal to shear force divided by area. Now we will imagine that both the layers are apart by amount dy. And the difference between the velocity of both the layers is u plus du minus u, which is equal to du. And this diagram gives us the velocity profile, which is nothing but variation of velocity with respect to depth y. Hence, we can define Newton's law of viscosity as shear stress in a flowing fluid will be directly proportional to velocity gradient, that is du by dy, which is also known as rate of shear strain. So we can write shear stress directly proportional to rate of shear strength. What is shear stress? That is nothing but tau. And what is shear strain? Du divided by dy. So we write tau directly proportional to du by dy. When we remove this proportionality sign, we get a constant that is nothing but mu, which is referred to as either viscosity or dynamic viscosity or absolute viscosity. And we know that shear stress is nothing but force divided by area, which is required to move one layer of fluid in relation to another layer. Whereas shear strain, that is du by dy, is the measure of change in speed, that is u, at which intermediate layers move with respect to one another. In this presentation, we will try to find out the types of fluids which are defined based on Newton's law of viscosity. In previous slide, we arrived at the equation tau is equal to mu into du by dy. We will plot a graph of variation of shear stress with respect to du by dy. So, on y-axis is shear stress, that is tau, and on x-axis it is shear strain, that is du by dy. Now for a particular liquid, if we get a straight line, then it is referred to as Newtonian fluid, whereas if there is non-linear variation, for example for pseudoplastic and dilatant liquids, we are finding non-linear variation, which are referred to as non-Newtonian fluids. Hence, a fluid which follows Newton's law of viscosity is called Newtonian fluid, whereas a fluid which does not obey this relation is referred to as non-Newtonian fluid. For Newtonian fluid, viscosity does not change. That means, now for example, if we consider the value of tau on y-axis and the value of du by dy on x-axis, we get the value of mu, which is nothing but the slope of the line. So, mu at this point, let us say, is equal to 1 unit. Similarly, we will try to find out what is tau and what is du by dy at some other location. We get it as if equal to 1 unit again, then we say that mu is not changing with change in du by dy. That is, if viscosity does not change with change in force, then it is called as Newtonian fluid. Whereas for non-Newtonian fluid, viscosity is changing. So, as shear stress increases, velocity gradient increases. Here we can see that for Newtonian fluid, shear stress is increasing continuously with change in du by dy. But whereas it doesn't happen in case of non-Newtonian fluid. Kinematic viscosity is used for Newtonian fluids whose viscosity does not change, whereas for non-Newtonian fluid, dynamic viscosity, that is mu, is used. We will check out what do we mean by kinematic viscosity in the subsequent slide. Capillary type apparatus is used to measure viscosity of Newtonian fluid, whereas rotational viscometer is used to measure viscosity of non-Newtonian fluid. Example of Newtonian fluid is water, oil, gasoline, etc. Whereas example for non-Newtonian fluid is toothpaste. There are two types of viscosity, that is dynamic and kinematic. Now we will go in detail what do we mean by dynamic viscosity. It is the relationship between shear stress tau and shear strain du by dy in a fluid. We already have seen from Newton's law of viscosity, tau is equal to mu into du by dy. Hence, we can write mu, that is dynamic viscosity, as equal to tau divided by du by dy. Dynamic viscosity is a measure of fluid's resistance to shear flow when some external force, that is shear force, is applied onto it. Now we will find out where dynamic viscosity is used. Viscosity value of a liquid gives manufacturers the ability to predict how it will behave in the real world. For example, if a toothpaste does not have correct viscosity, it will be very difficult to pump it out from the tube. Hence, we need to check out its viscosity. And in the second example, we have considered a ketchup, wherein the viscosity will help to know its flow characteristic. Ketchup has to have lower viscosity as it flows out of the bottle, and even it has to be thick when poured on the burger. It should not occupy the whole plate. Hence, viscosity of the ketchup at different speeds is tested to check how it flows out of the bottle and how much area it covers after it flows out. So, viscosity is important in explaining the flow characteristics of fluid, particularly non-Newtonian fluid. Now we will find out how to measure dynamic viscosity. Dynamic viscosity is the amount of force required to make the fluid flow at the velocity of 1 meter per second. From Newton's law of viscosity, we know that viscosity, that is dynamic viscosity, is equal to shear stress divided by shear strain. Shear stress is tau and shear strain is du by dy. Now we will find out the unit of mu. We know that since stress is force by area, we write unit of shear stress as Newton by meter square, which is nothing but force divided by area. And unit of velocity is meter per second, whereas unit of distance, that is dy, is nothing but meter. So finally, we get unit of dynamic viscosity as Newton second per meter square. To get a strain rate of 1 meter per second, how much stress do we need to apply is answered by property called viscosity. Now we will consider a thicker and thinner liquid. Let the thicker liquid be oil and thinner liquid be water. Let's apply a velocity of 1 meter per second on both of these liquids. We find that more force is required to spread a thicker liquid, that is oil, as compared to the thinner liquid, which is nothing but water. Now we will check out how to find dynamic viscosity by using rotational viscometer. Rotational viscometer consists of head unit with motor and a spindle is connected to it. The sample is turned by this spindle, which is contained in a cup. Speed and the motor torque which is required to rotate the spindle is noted. The torque and the conversion factor is noted, and the multiplication of the value of torque and conversion factor will give us the value of shear stress. Similarly, the value of speed and the conversion factor is noted down, and both are multiplied to give the value of shear rate. Ratio of shear stress and shear rate will give us the value of dynamic viscosity. Rotational viscometer is used for both Newtonian and non-Newtonian fluids. That is, viscosity of both the types of fluids can be found using rotational viscometer. Before finding out what is kinematic viscosity, we will go through what is inertial force and viscous force, as the definition of kinematic viscosity is based on both of these forces. Inertial force, as the name implies, it is the force due to the momentum of the fluid. We know what do we mean by momentum. It is the product of mass and velocity. When both mass and velocity are more, momentum is high. Inertial force acts in the direction of flow of liquid. Hence we say that inertial forces keeps things moving, whereas viscous forces are the forces due to friction between the layers of any fluid. We know that due to movement of a fluid, there will be exertion of frictional force between the layers of the fluid. Due to this frictional force, that is F, there will be exertion of shear stress, that is tau, which is equal to shear force divided by area. A force that can counteract or counterbalance the inertial force is the force of friction, which is also called as shear stress tau or viscous force. In case of fluid flow, it is represented by Newton's law, that is tau is equal to mu into du by dy. This is only dependent on the viscosity and velocity gradient. Viscous force act in the opposite direction. Hence, we say that viscous forces makes things stop, whereas inertial forces keeps things moving. Hence, kinematic viscosity is defined as the ratio of fluid's viscous force to the inertial force, or it is the ratio of dynamic viscosity, that is mu, to density, that is rho. Now we will find out what is unit of kinematic viscosity. nu is equal to mu by rho. So what is unit of mu? We have already found out in previous slides. It is Newton second per meter square. And the unit of density is kg per cubic meter. Finally, we get Newton second meter divided by kg. Meter and meter will get cancelled out. We will replace kg in terms of Newton. We know that 1 Newton is equal to 1 kg meter per second square. Since it is divided by kg, we get 1 kg as meter per Newton second square. So basically what we have done is we have written kg in terms of Newton. And finally we get unit of nu as meter square per second. Kinematic viscosity is a measure of fluid's resistance to shear flow when no external force except gravity acts on it. The amount of area that a fluid spreads when it is poured on a surface per unit time gives the value of kinematic viscosity. That is nothing but area divided by time. For example, we will consider thick liquid, that is castor oil, and let us pour it on the circular area at the center. We will allow the liquid to cover this circular area and note down the time. Let's repeat the same experiment for a thinner fluid, for example water, and note down the time required to cover this area. We note that thicker fluid flows slower and requires more time to cover this circular area. Hence, by the experiment which we had conducted for dynamic and kinematic viscosity, we conclude that for a thicker fluid, dynamic viscosity is high and kinematic viscosity is low. Whereas for thinner fluid, dynamic viscosity is low and kinematic viscosity is high. Any two different fluids, that is with the different values of density, can have same dynamic viscosity, but they will never have same kinematic viscosity as density of both the liquids are different. We know that nu is equal to mu by rho. So kinematic viscosity will be different for both the liquids. Now we will find out how to measure kinematic viscosity. It is measured using capillary type apparatus. It is of U-tube shape wherein oil is driven into the tube, and this tube is submerged into a constant temperature bath. Time is measured in seconds as fluid flows from this start mark to stop mark. And to measure kinematic viscosity of this fluid, that is oil, we use equation nu1 divided by nu2 is equal to T1 into rho 1 divided by T2 into rho 2, where nu1 is viscosity of unknown liquid, nu2 is viscosity of known liquid. That means we need to know the value of viscosity of a certain liquid. T1 is the flow time of liquid 1, that is the time which we measured for oil to flow from start to stop mark. T2 is the flow time of known liquid which is already known to us. Rho 1 is the density of oil and rho 2 is again the density of known liquid. With these values, we will be able to easily find the value of kinematic viscosity. Now we will find out when to use kinematic viscosity measurements. We can see a lubricating oil which forms a liquid film between two moving or sliding surfaces to avoid excessive wear. Low viscosity of oil leads to wear of surfaces in contact, whereas high viscosity forces the machine to work harder to overcome the lubricant's internal resistance to flow. Kinematic viscosity is used for Newtonian liquids where viscosity does not change with applied force. Viscosity of lubricating oil at different temperatures and varying environmental conditions need to be known. With this, we can find out how effective the lubricating oil is to avoid wear of the machine parts. When we need to find the viscosity of a liquid which is not exposed to outside physical forces, that is, when gravity is the only force acting on the liquid, kinematic viscosity has to be found instead of dynamic viscosity. Here we can see that lubricating oil is flowing only under gravity. There are no other forces which are causing the flow of this oil. Now we will find out the differences between dynamic and kinematic viscosity. Dynamic viscosity is also called as absolute viscosity, whereas kinematic viscosity is called as diffusivity of momentum. Dynamic viscosity is the ratio of shear stress to the shear strain, whereas kinematic viscosity is the ratio of dynamic viscosity to density, that is nu is equal to mu by rho, and here mu is equal to shear stress, that is tau, divided by shear strain, that is du by dy. Viscosity changes with change in temperature but not with shear or agitation. For example, water has the same viscosity if it remains still or is shaken. In both the cases, viscosity of water will not change, whereas kinematic viscosity changes when stirred, shaken or agitated. It represents only viscous force of the fluid, whereas it represents both viscous and inertial force of the liquid. It is measured by observing the fluid's resistance to flow under an external and controlled force by movement of a body through the fluid, whereas kinematic viscosity is measured by observing the fluid's resistance to flow only under the force of gravity. Dynamic viscosity is measured using rotational viscometer, whereas capillary type apparatus is used to measure kinematic viscosity. Dynamic viscosity gives information on the force needed to make the fluid flow at a certain rate. Hence, it is the amount of force required to make the fluid flow at the velocity of 1 meter per second, whereas kinematic viscosity tells how fast the fluid is moving when a certain force is applied. Dynamic viscosity is represented by Greek letter mu, whereas kinematic viscosity is denoted by nu. Unit of dynamic viscosity is poise, which is equal to 10 raised to minus 1 Newton second per square meter, and unit of kinematic viscosity is torque, which is equal to 10 raised to minus 4 meter square per second. Usually in most of the problems, the value of viscosity will be either given in terms of poise or in terms of torque. So we need to know these conversion values. Now we will find out how does viscosity vary with change in temperature. When temperature of liquid is increased, kinetic energy of the molecules increases, that is, molecules move apart. Hence, molecules move faster and attraction between molecules, that is cohesive force, decreases. So, viscosity of liquids decreases when temperature is increased, whereas for ordinary pressure, viscosity is independent of pressure and depends upon only temperature. Now we'll solve a simple problem to find dynamic viscosity. A fluid moves along length 0.8 meter with a velocity 2 meter per second and has shearing stress of 2 Newton per square meter. Find its kinematic viscosity. To begin with the problem, write down all the data given, that is length y is equal to 0.8 meter, shear velocity, that is u, is equal to 2 meter per second, and shearing stress, that is tau, is equal to 2 Newton per square meter. With these data, we need to find the value of dynamic viscosity. We will have to find out which equation is available to relate dynamic viscosity and these given values. That is, tau is equal to mu into du by dy. So, we can write mu is equal to tau divided by du by dy. Tau is given, that is shear stress, substitute it over here, and du is nothing but u, which is 2 meter per second, and dy is y, which is equal to 0.8. With this, we get mu as 0.8 Newton second per square meter. In the second problem, there is a plate 0.025 mm distant from a fixed plate, moves at 60 centimeter per second and requires a force of 2 Newton per unit area to maintain this speed. Find fluid viscosity between the plates. To begin with, write the given data. First one is distance between fixed and moving plate is given. Down is the fixed plate and on top there is a moving plate which moves the fluid which is placed in between the two. The distance between both the plates, that is dy, is equal to 0.025 mm. Convert it into meter, that is 0.025 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter. Next is velocity of the plate, which is equal to u, and the value is 60 centimeter per second. Convert centimeter into meter, we get 0.6 meter per second. Next is, it requires a force of 2 Newton per unit area. So, the value of stress is given, that is shear stress, because it is 2 Newton per unit area. So, shear stress is equal to 2 Newton per square meter. With these values, we need to find viscosity. Now again, we will find out what is the relation available which connects between known data and unknown data. That is, tau is equal to mu into du by dy. Since we have to find the value of viscosity, mu is equal to tau divided by du by dy. Du represents the change in velocity. So, the velocity of moving plate is 0.6 meter per second minus velocity of fixed plate, which is equal to 0. So, du is equal to 0.6 meter per second. Next, we will find the value of mu by substituting the value of tau. Tau is 2 and du is 0.6 and dy is 0.025 into 10 raised to minus 3, which finally gives us the value of mu as 8.33 into 10 raised to minus 5 Newton second per square meter. And similarly, we will be able to find the value of kinematic viscosity if we know the value of density of the fluid. That is, nu will be equal to mu divided by density of fluid. Thank you.